Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? Let's see. We have Pamela and Deb and Kate Sweet Blue and Clarence and Pamela, Doreen. Let's see. Kate Sweet Blue. Hi, Clarence. How's everybody doing? Uh-oh. Here comes Bubs. Hi, Carol. Hi, Sunflower. Oh, hold on. Got a text message. Come on, you guys. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me let in Bubbies before he starts banging on the door. 1 second. Well, he's not there anymore. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. I'm going to turn on the fan. So let's see. Linda Bishop, Amy Smith, Sterling Rose, Love Light EQ, Pamela, Marie Sutton, hello, LLC, Solitary, Sharon, Pam. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Super Truthful, Feisty, Donna, Doreen. Hey, Lucky Girl, Pamela Shin. Hey, there's Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Mary Hall Summers, Mimi Rose, Tres Leches, Kate Sweet Blue. Hi, Sebastian. Monique. I'm doing great, Brandon. How are you? Pamela, Sandra, Susan Hubbs, Beth, Sheila, Aspie, Faye. Ooh, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. James. Hey, Ali P, how are you? Nice to see you in here. I hope it's not too late. Oh my gosh, thank you, Margarita. Oh, thanks, Doreen. Thank you, Margarita. Muchísimas gracias. Tres Leches, hello. Let's see. If I can get some thumbs up, that would be fantastical, you guys. That would be great. Yvette, hello from Miami. Hello. Sweet darling Lulu. Roses and Bees. Queen Comfort. Renee, sweet darling Lulu. So how's everybody doing? Oh, thank you, Renee. Everybody's doing good today? Happy Friday. Let me see if I can get this thing. Oh, Irish, thank you. You're awesome too. Thank you. I know it's cutting out the line of fate. We'll get to that when we get to it. Dorothy from Australia, hello. And Bismo. So everybody have a good Friday today. Happy Friday to everybody. Thank you, Sunflower. Yes, please hit the thumbs up if you have not done so. Allie P's doing great. Let's see here. Oh, we'll see. We'll see if the glare comes. So far, it's not there, but we'll see. Oh, man. Thank you, Irish. Sterling just woke up. And Bam Bam, hello. So I think I've chatted now. It's been 5 minutes. I hope everybody's doing well this evening. Sorry I haven't been on for a few days. I needed to take a break because my brain was fried. I had a few personal readings with Grand Tableaus. So those were super, super fun. Thank you, Marie Hall and Roses and Bees. Those were super fun that I did those for some clients. So you guys know that I do this on the side. So I kind of have to adjust my schedule accordingly. So this Grand Tableau is on the Orange Menace. Oh, more Moose Box. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much. You know what? I really appreciate that because I have to go get him some food probably tomorrow because Moose likes to eat a lot. And I'll get him his favorite cookies are the Trader Joe's dog cookies, the one that has the greyhound in the front. He loves those. I think they're like peanut butter and something else, but he loves them so much. So thank you, Brandon. That will go towards the Moose. So yeah, I did this Grand Tableau in the middle of the night this morning. I think it was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And I've been staring. Hey, Peggy, how are you? I've been staring at it on and off. And the timeline that was set for this one is 1 year. So we have 5 columns to work with. That will be for the year to come. There's quite a bit to go through here. Hopefully it's not too boring. So yeah, if anybody has emailed me in regards to personal readings, I'll get to those emails as soon as I can. So yeah, let's dive in. So this Grand Tableau is on Hey Noel Noel, is on Spanky. And the timeline that was set was for 1 year. He lands here in the 3rd row. So these 5 columns ahead is what is to come. This is his present line. And everything to the left of him is the past. He's a bit overwhelmed, but overall he's feeling quite comfortable based on his position. Oh, Sunflower, you gave me Moose Bucks too. Thanks. Moose is going to be a very happy boy. Thank you so much. So he's landing right here in the House of Tower, meaning isolation and also him dealing with the law. Thank you, Cheryl. Yes, I have quite a few Grand Tableaus to get through. I think I bit off more than I could chew. Donald Trump wasn't on my list, but I did his anyways, just because of everything that's coming up. It's like, why not? And now that I think about it, I should do one on Weaselberg too. Add that to the pile. So here's Spanky right here. Immediately in his line, he's got tree right over his head. Traditionally, tree, you want this thing far, 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 far away from you, preferably behind you and far away. In his instance, it's crowning him right over his head, meaning there's something health related here that's going to be of importance. And then when I follow his line down, there is perhaps some sort of an ambulance for him this way, because this is the ship here could be in reference to a journey, okay, for health and him in an institution. And then there's him being public or being popular or being part of a network, also Trump organization. Okay, so that tree is, it's not a good place for it to be. When I box him in, though, it says that there's something chronic with his health that clears up very quickly, but it happens routinely. With the ring right here, something significant with him that is routine, health routine here. It is something that is persistent from partying here, and also something that may have to do with his immunity here, that could flare up. Now, you have whip in the house of scythe and tree, it's in the house of whip. This is something that could be chronic, so something that flares up, especially in this direction, flares up. And also with whip, this is something that is sexual. Okay, so this could be some sort of case of the itchies, and I'm not talking head lice, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And then when we knight tree over here to ring, sexual relationships this way. And this has a tendency to flare up. Okay. But there's also something here with a transportation for health for him. So quite possibly an ambulance. If this, and the reason I'm reading that is because tree is crowning him. So that's the reason I'm reading it that way. There's also another possibility here, and a different way to interpret this is that there's distance here in regards to him growing, him being stable and rooted in the public this way. And he's also in the house of Tower, which means he's also isolated and also institutionalized. Okay, so we're looking at quite possibly a hospital and growing distance between him and being in the public, even though he seeks that. In this tableau, he's got ship in its own house and fox in its own house, which will be very significant once we get into this stuff, because as you all know, crap's about to hit the fan in regards to his financial situation. Right here, we're seeing that success or something that he wishes for. He's hoping that it will bring him something to celebrate, and that is at a distance or when something is transferred. The stars is also in reference to technology. Okay, so this could be the current disputes. He's got whip over his head, the current disputes in regards to the technology right now that's being disputed, and shows that he is successful. Because if you look at the heart of the tableau here, you have clover with crossroads, ring, and house. Central to this entire reading is saying he won the election. So over the next year, which is this portion of the tableau, this isn't going to stop. This is chronic for him. It's almost with whip here, right next to him, it's chronic. And then you got mice right below it. It's a chronic obsession. He can't let it go. He clings on to it, that he won this election here. Okay. So he is quite hopeful. He's got clover over his head. He's quite hopeful that something in these machines will give him the chance or the luck that he needs to transfer, which this guy's living in a different reality, because that's not how elections work in this country. But, you know, keep sipping your Kool-Aid, dude. And another interesting thing about his tableau in regards to his health, because it is right over his head, there's something here that's quite painful, that is temporary, but it clears up. Okay. He's got tree in the house of whip and whip in the house of scythe. And when I look at the corners, I'm like, this guy is freaking senile. He's got these two on the corners. He's senile. He's straight up. Hey, T-Barb. He is straight up out of his ever-loving mind. He's crazy. And if it's health related, it's something that is chronic, that comes from aging, and something chronic and health related that comes from a sexual relationship that could be alleviated and addressed through some sort of an injection. So I don't know, and I sound like a crazy person, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy had like neurosyphilis or something like that, as well as Alzheimer's and dementia, because this is dementia and Alzheimer's here. So that may be playing a role too. Let me see here. He's under a significant amount of stress, and it's chronic. It is chronic, significant stress here. And he's mostly stressing about what? Somebody flipping on him. Mice in the house of storks. And that's where this whole portion of the tableau gets really, really weird, because this child flips on him. This person flips on him. This person flips on him. This woman flips on him. Hold on 1 second, please. Un momento. And all of these people are going to the Under the Bus Club. The thing about this that I was saying that was significant, he's got ship in its own house, fox in its own house. His strategy, because when you box him in, he's got nothing but good cards. He's got sun in the house of man. He's got clover crowning his head. He's got ring right there. He's got garden, which is positive when it's anchored by these two, the anchor and the sun. It's surrounded by positive cards. He's got positive cards here. Something chronic in his health, but it's only temporary. And it's also could be something chronic in his health that came from abroad, that came from far away. So quite possibly, and since this is in the house of whip, and whip is in the house of scythe, so perhaps routine checkups to do with perhaps post-COVID situations. But I hesitate to say that because clouds is far away from him, and child is far away as well, meaning it's it could be something that he got from something that was far away, and something that he contracted at a party as well that came from far away. But it's looking more like something chronic in his health that causes a lot of suffering. It causes a lot of anxiety. It flares up. And it causes him a lot of stress. So we have ship and fox in its own house. He is going to distance himself and try to weasel out of the investigations, or try to weasel out and outsmart everybody else. Because like I was saying, when you look at what's around him, it's nothing but good cards. When you look at dog, when you read this line this way, it's Giuliani. When you read it this way, it looks like Alan Weiselberg. The child here flips and betrays. This child here flips and betrays. This person was lying about finances, changing the finances, falsifying finances, covering up the losses. And this person exposes him. But see how far he is away from child, which would be, and then it's followed here by crossroads, multiple children that are linked to this organization, to the Trump organization. Look how far he is away. He's distancing himself here, here, and here. He's far away from this woman. He's far away from this person here that would be someone that was a friend or was loyal to him. Okay, so his strategy is to distance and weasel out and throw everybody else under the bus. But based on his position, these people up here, I'm going to read this as more than one child because it's got crossroads here, flip on him and betray. And that's what he's worried about. He's worried about the flipping that comes from a child that quite possibly is a smoker, that is confused, that will flip and betray and rat him out and bring an ending and a closure. And that would end that relationship because coffin is in the house of heart. Okay. The only person that I think he's putting any faith in would be Ivanka. She's got snake. She betrays as well. So this way we're seeing the kids. So Junior and Eric. This way it's Ivanka. And then here is also Melania. And why do I say Melania? Because Bear goes back to woman, a financial woman or a woman that has a lot of finances. So if they were hiding money or assets under Melania, we'll look at what follows her. Trouble. So it's like the kids end up flipping on her, and then she's in trouble here. It's going to be a flip parade, but he's looking to distance himself and kind of stay out of it. But either way, he's linked to the organization. You got Ring in the house of Garden, and then you got Garden right here in the house of Letter. So another thing about this tableau that I found a wee bit interesting is that I don't know when it happens, but from the looks of it here, there's a chance that his assets with Bear, his finances get frozen here. They freeze here, and then they freeze them here. With House in the house of Mountain and Mountain right here. So property is frozen or property is delayed, and then it's followed right here with Mountain being delayed, and it's multiple properties here. So there was some creative financing around creative business in the family business, Fish in the House of House, that they were doing very creatively, setting up channels to kind of manipulate and defraud the results, the paperwork, that are financial here. And here you have the false financial records. This way you have Snake in the house of Bear. You have, what is this, Letter in the house of Crossroads, and Bear in the house of Woman. Okay, so there's several. There's so many documents that are wrong. And there's the potential here for the assets to get frozen and property to get frozen this way. Okay. When I read this line down here on this vertical line here, it looks like this person could be Rudy Giuliani, because there's an older person here, perhaps some sort of career official, 35 years of service, could be someone that was perhaps working on some sort of a project, maybe military service, with Lily's being here, who was working for the public, that was very well recognized, and she was a powerful woman. But the finances that were promised here were blocked. And then this person caused a lot of trouble. So this way it's looking like Ukraine and Giuliani. This way. This way it's looking like Weiselberg, someone that made false improvements and lied about the finances to cover up losses and thievery. And this person exposes him, and that lands him in court. He's in the House of Tower. His chain, his link to this person, it's very short. It's, let me see, Man goes to Tower, that goes to Key, that goes to Dog, that goes back to Man. That's that line. So Giuliani this way, Weiselberg this way. Either way, those alliances are going to get him in trouble because they flip this way. Let me see here. There is... like I said, don't expect this whole I won the election thing to stop anytime soon. It's central to the tableau. He's looking to cling on to power. Dictator this way. But it gets blocked. Another way to read this bottom line, it is a very large party full of conservative people, older men, that have a membership to this organization. So we could be talking RNC, and we could be talking the Republican Party campaigning. We could also be talking about the NRA because Garden Knights over here to Scythe, and then it Knights here to Whip. So also quite, or something like that to the NRA. Now, this party of conservative people who are trying to be successful and cling on to power, he is going to drive that straight into the wall because that power gets blocked, delayed. Also, if this is this way and this way here, NRA assets get frozen this way. Okay. And the organization here is dissolved. Garden Knights over to Mice. So Trump org as well as, and I'm saying NRA because it links here to Scythe, it links up here to Whip, dissolved. If that makes any sense. Also in this tableau, sex ring, sex parties, older men that are part of this union, that have membership to this club, but those people are linked to power and finances, but they're close to where he lives. So we could be talking about perhaps members of the Republican Party where he lives. So not the Senate, not the House, but where he lives. So I don't know if that would be like Florida or wherever. I don't see a change of residence for him because House is over here and Storks is up here. It's not close. He may be looking at how he's going to squeeze out and evade, travel undetected this way, if that makes any sense, with Ship in its own house and Fox in its own house. Okay. But an actual change of residence, I don't really see it here. Because that change would have to be very covert. And perhaps there's people watching him and his property, and he would be exposed this way. Okay. So did any of that make sense? I'm not looking up at the chat. Man. Okay, that made sense, T-Barb? Yeah. And also gifts of money that were being transferred to the family business. Successful gifts were transferred to the family business up here. And they come from pleasurable sex, something significant here that was achieved within this party here. So I would be curious to see how he may link up to the whole Matt Gaetz situation and other stuff that's going on in Florida. Because this is a sex ring, sex parties. This here could be trafficking right there. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Gates is going down, Brandon. It's only a matter of time, and it would be phenomenal if they arrest his punk ass in the middle of one of his stupid ass Trump is our leader party. What else do I see here? So his family business has been very lucky with the contracts and agreements that he has made from fundraising as well as the rallies here. You got garden in the house of, ring in the house of garden and garden right underneath it. So with crossroads right here next to the fox and flanked up here by house, it's not just the Trump org, I think. Because when I box this in, they're looking at quite possibly the channels here. Quite possibly to do with the children if I'm reading this, or something small, or, you know, small payments here. But memberships to this organization. So it's almost like routine payments or something. So this could not only the Trump org, but with ring in the house of garden and garden right underneath it, there's several of these new and small entities. So it could be that this investigation ends up being very widespread, because this could be Trump org, along with Trump inaugural committee, along with his links to NRA money, his links to donor money here, money that's coming into his business, to the family business from abroad here, how that money is being abused and laundered here with fish and whip here, money that is abused and laundered that is far, but it's being transferred to the family business. And then the channels to which it goes through and ends up here in his pocket, if that makes any sense. So, and here with the moon has to do with cycles. So it's kind of like, they may not just be looking at his properties and increasing something here with Storks, increasing something and lying about it, and then lying about the finances to cheat and steal and hide it. It's not just that. It's looking like, it's almost like they're looking at the organization itself as a washing machine here, because here this has to do with cycles. Those cycles are false, and they lie about the resources here. And it grows this way, and it has to do with family business, and it abuses this way, and it has a pattern and a routine this way. So it's like quite possibly, and what's interesting here is this would be like, let me see, garden and tower here would be like a public office, okay, or an institution that oversees the public. Well, look how far away fish is. Fish is all the way up here. And then down here, you have a bank. And when I look at this, there's nothing fraudulent here. If this is in regards to perhaps, I don't know, the IRS, there's nothing fraudulent here. It shows that the finances get cut and they get frozen here, but there's nothing fraudulent here. The fraud shows up here because it knights to Fox this way. See what I'm saying? So it's almost like, on top of the bank fraud, insurance fraud, and all that other stuff, wire fraud, whatever, I see a laundromat is what I'm seeing. I see a laundromat, and the organization itself and the properties themselves being laundromats. Okay. This way it's showing, yeah, Pamela on Spin Cycle. There are several areas here in which they were very creative on properties that were severely in trouble or highly in debt. I'm sorry, house in the house of mountain in the mountain right below it here. It could be some sort of resort mountain in the house of lilies. So there could be some sort of resort that's a property or a residence that's in a crap ton of trouble here. Financial trouble with bear and mountain, and then house in the house of mountain and mountain right below it. That's why I was saying quite possibly assets being frozen here and properties being frozen here. And there may be a notice for some of these properties to close, because if that's a property here, the results, the paperwork from the business, from several family businesses that were handed over or talked about by this friend or this associate here, was covering up thievery and losses, and then it gets shut down and closed this way. When that happens, I don't know. But this line here says that his link and his agreements for this property or properties, because he's got crossroads over it, there's a notice that these things have to be shut down. If that makes, and that shutdown comes from this woman who is very powerful. So I would think Letitia James. In that context. In the other context, it would be someone that he's married to that has the finances, and they've put it under her name and they still shut it down here. Because they were being very creative here on how they routed the family business money and the finances under a woman. So, and it may be something that has to do with a marriage agreement here or an agreement with the family here. And ring knights down to tower. So there may be something, I don't know, in their marriage paperwork or their alimony or whatever it is. But either way, if this is in regards to Melania's money, well, it's false as well, and it gets shut down here. Does that make any sense, you guys? What I just said? Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was making sense. All right. So that's this column here. This column down here, we're looking at several things. We're looking at the children manipulating reports or documents or results and obstructing them or causing delays. So perhaps not wanting to produce material. Also, a new investigation into the results of obstruction. So we could also be looking at, surprise, surprise, something that comes up around the Mueller report. Again, because this way it's saying it's an investigative report, a new investigation. There's the results of that investigation or report, and then obstruction. Well, he was impeached the first time, for delaying finances. Here, back to what I was saying, if you read this line, it almost reads like Rudy Giuliani, along with the Republican Party. But it looks like that comes up again. There's like perhaps a revisit sometime down the road on the role he played, and perhaps bringing charges on him for obstruction of justice, because he's obstructed here, if that makes sense. Let's see here. What else? How else can I read this? And then I think we went over this one about changing something and lying about the finances. Thank you so much, Impish, to cover up losses. And then this friend here exposes him. Okay. Giuliani and Weaselman. And then talking or interviewing a woman. And then there's a shutdown that causes big, big problems. If I read this in the context of his wife, Melania, interviewing a woman that is significantly depressed and very, very confused. Okay. If this is his wife, typically, I was telling Jenny, the woman in a grand tableau would be your most significant other. In his case, it would be Melania. Well, this is what marries them. His health, and she's very sick or very, 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 very depressed. She's got birds over her head. She's nervous. And then she knows something here about a delay or an obstruction. Okay. Also perhaps nervous about the children flipping on her and betraying her. This is going to turn into a circular firing squad between the entire family. Everybody's going to get thrown under the bus. Everybody. Because he's got the key right next to him. The solution. The answer. And everything that's touching him is positive. Look at the child. Look at what's around the child. Someone that's quite emotional. That is confused. Child in the house of clouds. Confused, in a lot of trouble. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Confused, in a lot of trouble. That flips and betrays and has a very difficult change to make. This person is suspicious, cunning. They're a liar this way. They're in trouble this way. Look at woman, trouble, big trouble here, big trouble here. Friend, trouble around the friend. Everything around him is good. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, he'll even turn on, he will even turn on his own children and his wife, if I read this as his wife, and his wife, to save his own ass. Yep, circle jerk. That's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a freaking circular firing squad amongst the family members. And meanwhile, while all that is going on, when all that is going on, all this stupid SOB can think about is how he won the election. That's the only thing that matters to him. He won the election here. And he is committed here. He's committed to being in that residence. That's the only, that's it. That's it. Period. Because that's his get out of jail free card. He's got cross behind him, but he's got a lucky ticket here. A winning lottery ticket. And he's successful this way with the sun. He's very optimistic, successful, enthusiastic, triumphant. So I'm wondering if he wrote himself a pardon that he's keeping in his pocket. Not that it wouldn't be challenged in court. You know, because he's got the intelligence of a rock. So there's that. Let me see. So if I'm going to read this, hold on. Well, Marie, what did I tell you about the corners? This man has lost his effing mind. These two right here he's senile. He's absolutely senile. Like his elevator stuck in the basement and it's flooded down there. Like that's how bad he is. Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay. I'm going to look at Fox. Give me 1 second. Oh, he walked out of the White House with official stationery? Oh, dear God. What a maroon. What a maroon. Okay, let me look at the Fox. Hold on. Emotional child flips right up here and betrays. An emotionally confused child, quite possibly a smoker, sees all the crap he's in and he flips and betrays. Several investigators here lied to a woman. That's interesting. Hold on. Hold on. I eat paste and I like to go to the donut shop here because it's got Crossroads right here. So 2 children, double this. But this one here smokes and he's emotional. The other one can be can be smarter than this one. And this one here lies and betrays a woman. If I'm reading this in context of the boys, because the child is what? Jack of Hearts. This carries male energy. And there's 2 of them here. One is emotional, confused, and flips. The other one's a little bit smarter and more cunning and conniving. And he lies to a woman or he betrays a woman this way. And if I read this in the context of Letitia James, she's going to deliver the hammer and the guilt. If I read this in the context of Trump's wife, because she's got Snake right before her, this would be like the mistress. He lies and betrays her. So it's almost like they pressure the associates here and let them know with book knowledge, they know they're going to be locked up for a long, long time and they're in a world of shit here. So this way, Giuliani, this way, Weaselberg, and quite possibly Weaselberg's children. If you follow his lineup, he's got a child there, and there's a pair there, and there's a pair there. Okay? So putting the pressure on the man that manages the finances this way, who knows about the losses that they've lied about in finances, and they've been changing fraudulently this way, and his children that are a pair, 2, quite possibly 2 here and 2 here. So they put pressure on this guy to flip, and he will. He will. Giuliani as well. Giuliani flips as well. But Trump's kids flip this way, and then this one here, the one that's smart, flips on a woman. So I don't know if this would be Melania or the Snake being Queen of Clubs, Melania and Ivanka. This way. Because there's 2 women here. And then this is Queen of Diamonds as well. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Business fraud this way, financial fraud this way. But they're looking at, okay, hold on. From this little box here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in this tiny box in the entourage, in the family, or that own property. Jack of Hearts, Queen of Spades, Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Clubs, King of Hearts here, outside of trunk, okay? That are part of the entourage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So outside of Weiselberg and Giuliani. So I don't know if that would include Weiselberg's kids, because I can pick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people right there. So let's see. Junior, Eric, Ivanka, Melania, and there's still one more, but it's in the family. It would be in the family. So I don't know if this child would also be in reference to Barron. Maybe they put crap under Barron's name too. You know, kind of like what Trump's father did to not pay taxes, was put stuff under Trump's name when he was. Okay, so hold on. Let me go back to Fox here. But if this is investigators here, well, what's investigators looking at? Child. And then investigators are also looking at a man in the family business here, King of Diamonds, in the house, which is King of Hearts. And this is not a big organization, the Trump org. It's small. Here. A business that is creatively small. And house knights over here. And these two mirror. I wonder if they start looking at Jared Kushner as well, because this is King of Diamonds in the house of King of Hearts. So I don't know if Jared Kushner is involved with Trump org, or did work for Trump org, or something that he's doing with properties with the Trumps. But there's a man here, King of Diamonds, in the house of King of Hearts. That's being looked at as well. Let me see. Hold on. There's a significant institution that he's linked to that's a bank. That bank is blocked, or that money from that bank gets frozen here. Also a huge amount of debt. And then this way here, the money gets cut off here. And like I said, you guys, I don't I mean, I have to stretch to look at taxes and public funds because this is public. Fish is way up here. Funding. Public resources here. The only thing I can get is an institution for the public, but it doesn't touch the money cards or business cards. It's looking more like a bank here. And the bank here, something about their records may have been classified and closed here. But they get turned over here by this person that illuminates it for him. So I don't know, with Tower Knighting over here to Bear, I don't know if that would be like Deutsche or somewhere else. But there's a bank. I'm having a very hard time seeing the IRS. And like I said, the first cards in this tableau is that the successful gifts are being transferred from afar to a family business this way. So it's like the money doesn't, it's not just because there's several avenues. And when I was saying there's a cycle to how the money is abused here. So like a laundromat. See what I'm saying? That goes through properties and goes through organizations. And then they get those results because I see the NRA one way. I see the Republican Party another way. I see campaign money here and here for his campaign for the presidency. Okay. I see the inaugural committee. It's like it's all linked here with Ring in the House of Garden. It's all, and it links all the roads here. So it's almost like it's like a web, but it all links back to the organization because they take from all of it. They take away here from what gets transferred here to the organization, and then it links to the channels. Growing opportunity for alternatives and options and several alternatives, and winning elections. Something that was growing to win the election. Something that he was growing to win the election, but it was recurring. It was being abused. Money. Okay. Money that was being abused to grow his opportunities to win the election. Right there. Tree in the House of Whip. Whip is right before it. Clover in the House of Birds. And then Crossroads in the House of Child. The new elections, small elections, talking about winning the elections, talking about running the elections. But it was something that was abusive and it had a pattern over and over and over again. It was recurring this way. Okay. And then his link to the family and properties. And then the organization here that is successful and illuminates him and his finances, but not just his finances, the finances of a woman. Bear in the House of Woman. Also, this could be an oligarch as well, because he's got King of Hearts over its head, and he's got Mountain right here, which is a powerful enemy. And then down this direction, it was an opportunistic gift to grow through his membership in this community for power and finances this way. Down this line of influence here. He Knight's over here, burdened, guilty, suffering, looking at what options he has, being quite satisfied and relaxed with his finances and his power. Happy and satisfied, and also gifts that are coming to him and invitations through his family business, and also quite possibly gifts of money that are coming to the family business from afar. And then he Knight's over here, and the only thing that he loves and what he desires, he Knight's down here, man Knight's here to heart, what he desires, what he loves, goes back up here, is money. He doesn't give a shit about his family. If you look here, if I read house as his family, his promise or his commitment to the family once the subpoenas come, bye-bye, see you later, have fun, good luck. Peace out. And then this way, when you look at what's around the house is in the house of mountain, mountain's right here, blocked and separated from family. I was talking to Jenny about this. I was like, dude, he is one messed up mofo, dude, because not even his own father, Fred Trump, did that to him. When he was freaking screwed out of money, his daddy went to the casino and bought millions of dollars worth of chips and just left him there to bail his ass out. He gets in trouble, he's going to throw all his kids and his entire family under the bus so long as he comes out unscathed. Because look at everything that's around him. Sun, success, optimism. The ring, he's looking for an agreement or some sort of promise. Luck here. He'll fight until he achieves his goal this way. He'll fight. He's got the garden here, him being public and popular and going to rallies and putting around on his golf course, you know? But then when you look at the kids and the friends are all the ones that have all the bad stuff around them. And I was telling Jenny too, okay? Down his line, when I was saying earlier that there's like an ambulance or something around him, I was also telling her that in a different context, because tree has to do with your health, but it also has to do with your spirituality, okay? So this could be a very spiritual journey for him, to where this plays out on the world stage in the light. Sun in the house of man, in the light for everybody to see. And what does he have next to tree? Key. This is karmic. Absolutely karmic. So it's almost like and then he's got anchor in the house of book and key in the house of dog. So it's almost like it's a very significant spiritual journey that's going to play out in the public with all the light on it for everybody to see. And it is a very significant lesson that he must learn. Anchor in the house of book. He doesn't learn it. He does not learn it. He fails this here, everywhere around him. He turns on everybody. It's in that sense, it's very karmic. And it reminded me of what Johnny has always said. Humble yourself in private or God will do it in public. And if I read this in a spiritual sense, this is a very important spiritual journey with a significant karmic lesson for him. And it's going to be out in the open for everybody to see. And how is he going to do it? Well, he's going to look to distance himself and throw everybody else under the bus. Yeah, Tres Leche, his spiritual journey is shit, I got caught. You know, that's another way to read this present line here. Ay, vey. Vey. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. There's also something here where he is going to continue to dispute and fight the results of the election and call it a fraud. This man will go to his grave lying about the results of the election. He's going to lie about it all the way to his grave. Because this is something that is very painful. Again, karmic. Election, winning the election, fraud. It's a lie. The results are fraudulent here. This is chronic for him. He cannot let this go. And again, at the center of the tableau, while all this shit is going on, all he's focused about is winning the election. I mean, what a sad son of a bitch. There are several business documents here that come from this friend or this associate here. Let me see. I would not be surprised if FBI comes this way. Because if I read this as FBI, there's the house. With a warrant of some sort, perhaps. When that happens, I don't know. Also, with these corners here, this is like mobile devices. This is technology that you use to communicate. So cell phones, computers, mostly I would think cell phones because birds is here. That cause a lot of freaking trouble. That's going to take a very long time to resolve it, but it links him to an older man. And that older man is in this party of conservatives. And I was telling Jenny something about this earlier too. I was like, I was looking at this and I was like, I'm wondering if this is showing us Mitch McConnell down here as well. Because this is someone older, okay? This person is suffering under pain, suffering perhaps bruising of some sort with these two, cross and whip, something that's eating away at them. Senior and very well established within the party and his successful power here. This person is also a tyrant and he's very powerful at obstructing. Obstruct. All I want is tax breaks for corporations. Everything else can go to hell. Okay? Well, if this way, y'all keep pitching your boat to that, because he's going to sink you too. The power here for the GOP in the Senate and the House is here. Okay. Blocked. Loyalty is uncertain. And friends are very confused, and friends get pressured, and they don't know what the hell's going on. Do you see what I'm saying? If this is in reference to a committee, even though I don't see an insurrection here because Storks is way over here, Tower's way down here. Okay? He may be placing his faith that the House is going to block this way. Something about the transition or something moving forward, the opportunity for the House to block this way. And then for the Senate and Mitch McConnell's power to block. And then you can't find it out here. And there's something that he wants to keep secret that he will probably take to his grave, but don't worry, it comes out eventually, because this goes back over here. Coffin to heart in the house of fish, to the house of house, to the house of mountain, to the house of lilies. So it's almost like not just the NRA, not just Trump campaign and rally money and all that stuff, the RNC and the Republican Party as well. It's like he's linked to all the organizations because they have finances, and he takes from there and takes and takes and takes, but it's linked. It links back to his properties and his family. Does that make sense? So I'm wondering if once they start investigating not just the Weiselbergs because of the properties here that are in financial trouble this way, but if they're going to look at the link between the properties to the organization full of old people here, and how that money is coming in from abroad back to the family business this way, if that made any sense. So there's a chance that this thing becomes very widespread here, that the scope may become vast, and that many here with fish in the house of house, many in the house, not just his family, but many in the house and government are linked to him, and money laundering and all that stuff through organizations, several organizations. I mean, you're talking about exactly, J-Lo, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of paperwork. Tons. Because it's like once they start looking at the properties here, Fox over here to house, okay? Once they start looking at the properties, well, you go back up here, family business. The links to the family business, where does it come from? This organization. What is this organization full of old people here? What is it doing? It's stealing. How? Recurring payments, abusing money through a cycle. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and then money that is pouring in from abroad. There's the NRA this way and this way. A group of old white men. So perhaps this is why McConnell and what's his face, McCarthy, not only because they know that they were involved and they would be showing their asses, but the RNC paid his legal bills when he was president. You can't tell me that. And if this is the RNC and not just Trump org, it's linked here. Ring in the House of Garden and Garden right here. And this is a public party or an official party here. Garden and Tower of conservative old white people that have been there for a very long time. And when I was talking, if this is Mitch, if this would be Elaine. But you're looking at, for the timeline that was set for this tableau, I do not see him doing the perp walk anytime soon. It's like all this shit has to hit the fan first. And everybody over here is going to flip on everybody. And if these are investigators here, they have a shit ton of paperwork right here. New investigators, documents where there's a pileup of documents that need to be researched and learned here that show losses, and piecing it all together, book in the House of Mice. But they find the channels, and it's like one thing that leads to another, that leads to another, that leads to another. And like I was saying, you guys, I see a bank. I don't see IRS. I don't see IRS. This way it's a public office. This way it's a bank. But IRS is like, I don't know. He'll probably die before, you know. And another thing about his health, I was telling Jenny too. Chronic stress right here. A journey that causes chronic stress. And he's got tree over his head. And he's in the house of Tower. And this is his line of fate. Institutionalized and news of heart surgery or a heart attack. When someone comes to deliver the guilt. You got Tower, heart, scythe, writer. Institutionalized, heart surgery, and then news. I'm wondering if all this is going to stress him out enough to where he's just going to give himself a heart attack. Not saying tickets to the park, because that's way over there. Not anywhere around him. Yep, I saw that, Super Truthful. He's already collecting early presidential pension of $65,000. Yep. Yep. No, no sunflower. Mm-mm. Nope. And this is probably why when we did Junior's Grand Tableau, that it showed a breakup with him and the gargoyle. Because based off of this, he's going to be first. If I'm interpreting this correctly, okay? I could be totally wrong. If I'm interpreting this correctly, this is the first one that gets emotional, shits his pants, and flips. And he gets turned over by one of these people here. This way it shows Giuliani. This way it shows Weaselberg. Mm-hmm. And then in Junior's Grand Tableau, if I remember correctly, he gets in trouble and the girlfriend cuts and runs because she's a social climber and leaves him out to dry. But it shows Trump here in the public at a rally, at a park. Quite possibly, that could be Mar-a-Lago, unless this is talking about also Trump org. Because Garden is in the House of Letter. So public results, or the results of a network, the results of an organization, the results of a party, the result of quite literally a park where he's vacationing and quite possibly relaxing here. So Mar-a-Lago, this way. There may be something here about him getting a sunburn and it shows up on his skin. With the stars, whip, man, and sun. Oh, he's supposed to be doing a rally in June. Well, there's him going out in front of a big crowd and he travels. But then there's something here that happens around with his health. There's nothing here that says that I can see. Well, unless it's this line here. Because this line shows that he's traveling, okay, for health. And then him in front of an audience or at a party or somewhere with a large group of people. Well, if you look at that line of fate, Jenny, institutionalized, something with his heart, cancel visit. So and hold on, aren't the investigators also criminally investigating Weaselberg now too? I could have sworn I saw that on the news like yesterday or the day before that. Now they're also investigating Weaselberg. Because he's got Fox over his head. Yep, Weaselberg's in a shit ton of trouble. And so is Giuliani. Now, there's something also, if I read this here as machinery, there's also a lot of gossip to sow a lot of confusion in regards to machines that would make him, that will result in his, like his honor. So the whole lie that the election was stolen by discrediting the machinery, because there's a machinery, technology, gossip about a black box here, okay, to cause confusion, and then satisfied and a promise here, some sort of a contract or agreement. So, you know, this is about Trump, not about anything else. But I'm just wondering, when in the hell is DOJ going to step in with this shenanigan crap that's going on with these jackasses from ninja warriors or whatever, cyber ninja warriors, whatever they are, you know, because it turns out that now Arizona in Maricopa County has to destroy all of the machines because a bunch of quacks got into the machines and those machines have been tampered with. Now you're costing taxpayers millions of dollars to go out and buy machines, okay? And then turns out they also did it in a county in Pennsylvania. Now they're going to Michigan. You know, it's like, when is DOJ going to step in? And when are those elected officials at the state level who have been signing off on this stuff going to be held accountable? Because you're clearly breaking federal law by just letting random people come in and go through everything. You know, go through everything without following law and guidelines. Like, I don't get it. And if they're Dominion machines, I hope to God Dominion goes after every single one of those Republican lawmakers individually. Don't screw over the taxpayers because they had nothing to do with it. Screw over that idiot woman in Arizona who was like, yeah, come through and check out all the voting machines. If those were Dominions, Dominion should sue the ever-living piss out of that woman. You know? So I can't. Let it rain lawsuits. So that's all I got, y'all. That's all I got. DOJ may be giving them enough rope to hang themselves. Oh my God, Jenny. I mean, I would be livid. And it's happening here in California too. All these quacking on stupid mother effers. In San Luis Obispo, there was a town hall meeting. And they wanted the guy on the board of electorates to be fired because he's Chinese. So clearly he tampered with the votes because he's a Chinaman working with the Chinese. And then forget the Central Valley, or what we call here in California, the asshole of California. We're talking Devin Nunes's and Kevin McCarthy's playground over there, Visalia, Tulare, Bakersfield, Lemoore, Hanford, Fresno, that whole area. You know, that they want to do this whole thing and overturn the elections. It's like, it's what they're doing in Arizona is a test run. It is a freaking test. It's a test run. It's, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. No, he won't pay taxes on his government pension, Jenny. And if this is also his pension here, his retirement pension here, retirement here that he's achieved in the public for being a successful person in a position of authority, those finances get blocked here. Perhaps that happens when this happens, when something comes out from the court or the institution that is very passionate and someone delivers the charges and delivers the guilt. You got Scythe in the house of Anchor here. So that security, that reliability gets cut off. And then you got Ryder in the house of Garden, or Ryder in the house of Cross. So not only stresses himself out to the possibility of giving himself a heart attack and having to be institutionalized, but also quite possibly losing his reliability and what he loves the most, which is his money. That reliability gets cut when someone delivers charges of guilt this way. So based on the timeline that was set for this tableau, it's like, yes, here the line of fate shows that charges are coming and indictment is coming this way. There's an institution that is very passionate about delivering a strike and a blow and a charge that brings punishment and guilt. When that happens, I don't know. Based on the corners here, it may be a few months out because of lilies. That's what closes this in. But it looks like all these people got to flip first. But it's going to be a mess of paperwork because it looks like it's not just properties and Trump org. It's also linked to his campaigns, the RNC and all that shit as well. Like they made channels and links to pull money out of somewhere large where people were happy to donate and give large portions of money, if that makes any sense. So I could be interpreting that wrong, but that's what it's looking like to me. So yeah, anticipate something coming back up again about the Mueller report and the House. This could be the House, possibly looking at the report again for his obstruction of justice here, obstructing or delaying here, because there's impeachment right there. Letter knighting down to Scythe. I don't know if you can see that. Letter here, knights down to Scythe. There's impeachment. So something around a report of obstruction and something that's impeachment. And then also charges being brought in regards to that as well. So it may not just be Letitia James. If I were homeboy, I'd be watching my back for DOJ as well. Because if you look at Scythe, Scythe is number 10. What's over Scythe? Mountain. And it's being delivered here with Ryder. There was 10 charges of obstruction. That's documented in the report. So I would not be surprised if that thing returns. Because it's not just Letitia James. I think it's looking like DOJ as well. That goes after him for obstruction of justice this way. And then something to do here with delaying the results of the votes here. Because this is the results, or the vote, the results blocked, delayed. Blocking money here that was promised. And then this person's involvement with blocking those, the money that was promised already. If this is in regards to the Mueller report, there may be sections that will still remain classified and perhaps blacked out. But that Mueller report isn't done yet because it shows up here too. And it may be tied. Well, the Mueller report was one thing. So when the Mueller, hold on, let me see if I remember this correctly, because this is showing a new investigation into a report of obstruction. So the Mueller report, that's what got him impeached here. Letter, knights down to Scythe, okay? When that happened, as soon as not Stephen Miller, that piece of shit, oh God, the devil. As soon as Robert Mueller came out and all that stuff happened, the very next day, they were making a phone call up here with birds. They were on the phone extorting the Ukraine and blocking finances, and that's where Rudy shows up here. So, and up here it's showing mobile devices. Mobile devices, someone had a conversation with a man here, King of Spades, or King of Clubs here. There was a conversation or something on that cell phone with this King of Clubs person. That was this person may have been promising money or helping one way, shape, or another. Businessman, that's foreign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was to help him win the elections. Through what? An investigation of a child. A child is being investigated for the results here. So this goes back to Giuliani and whoever this man is. I don't know if this is Firtash. I don't know if this is somebody else. There's a man here, King of Clubs. In the mobile devices that came from this person up here, electronic devices that are used for communication, there's conversations with this man. There's conversations with this man. This is King of Clubs. This is King of Spades. This could be, this person has anchor next to him. This could be someone that is a veteran. This could be a person that was active duty military, Navy or Marine Corps, something like that. This could be a person that had a very long career, 30, 35 years. This could be an ambassador as well. But this is a man. King of Spades. So there's phone calls on a mobile device with two men, and there's a child investigated, and then here to win the elections. So if I were him, I wouldn't just be shitting my pants about tax fraud, bank fraud, insurance fraud. I'd be worried about when DOJ comes knocking too, when they catch this homeboy down here. And like I said, vast, widespread. News, you got writer, stars in the house of writer, writer in the house of cross. News of very widespread, very vast guilt, 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 punishment, suffering, because he was taking gifts and hoping for a little bit of help to win. And the phone calls that were made and communications and negotiations that were made about a loss. Being passionate and desiring something for his family business, because the family business perhaps had a huge pileup of debt, and there may have been a long-awaited promise to the organization. So one of the channels to the organization, several documents that are new, that are small, and around a child that is very, very, very confused and in a shit ton of trouble, who becomes very emotionally unstable. And let me see, emotionally unstable. There's weapons as well. Okay, here's the chain. Stars to rider, to cross, bouquet, to clover, to birds, to coffin, heart, fish, house, mountain, lilies, ring, garden, letter, crossroads, child, clouds, moon, tree, whip, and scythe. Those are weapons. Anchor, book, mice, storks, snake, bear, woman, and then stars. Like I was telling you all, this isn't just Trump.org. This isn't just Trump.org. There's a link here to an organization of older white men. An older man that is linked to an organization, a conservative group, a conservative commitment, like a membership to a conservative party, and documents that come out of there. Because they find something new, and there's a child that does something that gets in trouble because what they did in their career was that they also made weapons deals. So there's something about an agreement. Hold on. It goes ring to garden. There's the membership and the union to the organization. Several documents. New trouble, or the early stages of trouble. There's his creativity, his reputation, his emotions, and then there's growth here that is disrupted and cut off, but there's weapons, growth with weapons to achieve something in secret, to steal. He made a weapons deal with somebody in exchange to steal something. To steal and improve here. And then lying about finances. And then this woman here. Y'all, I don't effing know. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's not the Saudis. These are far. Because here I see an NRA, or the NRA, but there's an agreement for weapons through this membership of old white men or old conservatives. It's like this son of a bitch was taking money from everywhere. And here it has cycles, and it grows, and it abuses here. And then when that happens, he is cut off from his reliability. Something that he had deemed reliable gets cut off. So it's not. See, whip nights here, ring nights here. And then ring knights over here as well to Tower. Significant government contracts. A significant Tower here, a very important institution that has a contract for the family or for properties, and it's linked to this organization. Does that make any sense? I mean, we all know that he was in violation of the emoluments clause. That son of a bitch made personalized heavily from his time in office. And the Republicans are like, yeah, no, that's cool. Whatever. Insurrection, we're cool. Come by next week. We'd love to have you. Bring in the guillotine next time. You know, like, shit. Susan, that's kind of an insult to Satan, though, because you would think Satan is a little bit smarter than this stupid son of a bitch. So, yeah. So I'd be, if I were him, I'd be worried about DOJ coming after his ass too. And this here, hold on. Jenny, I was just telling you about that the other day on text. I'm like, I am getting whiplash from all the bullshit coming out of the Republicans' mouths. First, it was nonstop. It wasn't Trump supporters. Those were Antifa and Black Lives Matter. For weeks, we heard Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. And then the story changed to, there was no insurrection. Those were only tourists. To, we're not on board for a committee because there was nothing happened. Anybody who eats that shit sandwich, I mean, God bless you, you stupid son of a bitch. Because the gaslighting is so bad. It is so bad. It's like they don't even try. Because you would think if it was Antifa and Black Lives Matter, like they've been screaming for weeks after the insurrection when they were trying to flip the story, that they would have come out all over this thing to have a commission. Why? So that they can nail the left. So that they can use it to nail the left in the upcoming elections. Instead, it's no, nothing to see here, just a tourist, no insurrection, nothing happened, go back to bed. You know, it's like they're covering their own asses. They're covering their own asses, and it's freaking sick. It is sick. It is sick. Exactly, GM. It's absolutely Orwellian. Yeah, they don't want it said because they don't want to hurt their 22 election. Keep hitching your wagon to this right here, because you're going to run into a wall. And Jenny was pulling cards on this today. From the cards that she pulled, they don't win the House in 22. They don't win the Senate in 22. They're still small in the House, and they lose the Senate in 22. So it's not even, I mean, at least be consistent with your fucking bullshit at this point. You know what I mean? It's like I'm getting whiplash from all the crap. You can't even like keep your bullshit straight. Make up your mind and stick to one story. Is it Antifa? Was it Black Lives Matter? Well, then great. Have at it, Hoss. Have a commission from today until the cows come home. But they won't, because they know that they're full of shit. So anyways, enough of that. I'm done, y'all. But it's not just the Trump org, because Trump org is linked to a whole bunch of different stuff too, and they've been taking from it. They've been stealing from it. Danny, it's not even proper gaslighting. I mean, you have to have the intelligence of a gnat to fall for that. Because after the insurrection, they were out there condemning him and then turned around and voted against certifying the election, and then had an impeachment hearing where they all condemned Trump, but then went ahead and said, yeah, no, you're good. Well, at the same time, condemning him while blaming Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and now turning around and saying it never happened. Those were just tourists. Keep the bullshit straight. At least be consistent. You know? I mean, come on. Yeah, the other guy, Jenny, that impregnated a 14-year-old. John, my dear John, if you don't see through that game, you're pretty effing stupid. You're pretty effing stupid if you can't see what they're doing. Blue lives matter until it's a bunch of white folks killing the blue lives. But when the blue lives are killing black folk, hey, we love cops. Yeah, the tourist killed people. The tourist. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why they're saying they're tourists, because they keep saying nothing ever happened and there was no insurrection. So I just at least get your bullshit straight. So anyways, that's what I got, y'all. The courts will be delivering indictments, and not just Letitia, but I would anticipate DOJ as well. Linked to a criminal investigation of this homeboy down here that was doing some shady stuff. And his phone has records and voicemails and communications with these two fellows here. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and also quite possibly something to do with news of being institutionalized for heart surgery, if I just read it that simply, because please remember he does have a tree right over his head. So that's all I got. I'm going to try to calm down because I just got myself all worked up and pissed off. But yeah, like I said, just a quick recap. You're going under the bus. 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 You're going under. Everybody's going under the bus. These people down here, they're all going under the bus. It's the hashtag under the bus party is what this is going to turn into. And from there, it turns into a circular firing squad. And meanwhile, while that's all happening, all he's going to think about is how he won the election. I won the election. I won the election. I won the election. I won the election. And also with the corners here, the man is absolutely senile. So with the corners, that's being senile. Okay. So thank you all so very much for hanging out tonight. I hope that this was clear as much as clear as I can get it, because it's not just Trump org. It's not just Trump org. It's that thing's got all sorts of tunnels and roads of where the money's coming in and where they're taking it from and the cycles of how they're abusing it. It's a laundromat. Okay. So, and the possibility of his finances being frozen, losing his presidential pension once the charges come, and properties being frozen here, and notices that properties have to close, all that fun stuff. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I am going to go and pet Bubbies, and hang out with Peanut. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I'm sorry about my rant. Yeah, I'll try to come on tomorrow. We'll see. And then Sunday we have the live stream over on Jenny's channel. Sunday night with Jenny and Johnny and myself. So I will see you guys over there. And oh, hi, Rondell. Didn't see you sneak in. I will go pet Moose for you guys and tell him that you all love him very much, and tell him that you guys were so generous to donate to the Moose Fund so I can get him treats and bones and food. Thank you guys so much. You guys rock. And until, oh yeah, and then Monday, it's Johnny's birthday. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be party time at Tarot's Apprentices. Our little Johnny, our sweet little Johnny, it's going to be his birthday. So be on the lookout for that. And you guys have a wonderful evening. And if you have not watched Debris, you guys have to catch up, because there's only one more episode until the season finale. And it's getting whacked. And I swear, if they freaking finish the season and cancel the show, I will lose my mind if they leave us on a cliffhanger. I'll have to see if they're going to bring the show back, because I really do like that show. It's really great. And thank you, Jenny, for the recommendation. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening. I'm going to shut up now and get off. Bye.